Hey, how doing? Holmes here, and welcome back to some more Liza P boss guide. Today we are going to be taking on the Nameless puppet boss. And first phase is fairly easy. You can just dodge all its attacks by just simply rolling backwards, or dodging backwards. Second phase is the part that's going to be a little bit more tricky because it has a lot of combos. And for that, I will be going into detail on how to dodge all those shortly after I show off my equips, weapon, defense stuff and also my Legion arm. I'm using this one fully maxed out. Grindstone, I got the perfect parry grindstone happening here. And as for my stats and level, this is it right here. And here are this is gonna be my P organ setup. And yeah, you might have more quartz than I do. I feel like there's one area that I didn't really explore, so meh. Try to max out like your healing items here. I feel like it's gonna be pretty important. And yeah. Alright, so this spinning attack, you can dodge into it to avoid them, like this. Next up is this air shockwave attack in its greatsword form. So if you're mid distance, you can dodge into it like that, diagonally. If you're close enough, you can just kind of dodge or simply run behind him and get a few hits in. And if you are far away from him, then just simply keep distance and shockwave will miss you. Just be careful about the explosion right after. Next up is this rush attack. Sometimes he can combo it into the rush attack with the overhead, and sometimes he can just initiate the charge attack like that, which you can simply dodge by keeping close and dodge towards the side. Here's the red charge overhead attack, which I find you can just simply range it by running away. You might be able to dodge into him if you're close enough, and I know you can definitely parry this. Here's the dual wielding version of its uppercut air slam attack, but just make sure you know which one's which, because this one, it's with the dual sword version. So anyways, as long as he's doing this like stance, just get ready to do diagonal right dodge into him. And here's the tornado spin diving attack, so you can dodge into him to avoid this, and afterwards watch out for the follow-up spin attack. You can dodge back to play it safe, or you can just stand still and try to dodge into him and then try to get a few shots in. Here's the fade away slash, which you can dodge it by dodging into him, and he can do this out of nowhere as you're close to him, or he can do this at the end of one of its attacks. It can be random. He can do it at the end of any of like its attacks. Here is his spinning slash attack, which you can dodge it by doing diagonal right dodge towards him to avoid it. It hits 3 times. Sometimes you can combo it in like randomly like that as well. So basically when you see him do that pose, just get ready to do diagonal right dodges into him. So when the boss does that battle stance, he can either do that spinning 3-hit combo attack, or he'll do this longer combo which hits 4 times. So either or, when it does that pose, just get ready to do a diagonal right dodge and expect, and then you'll see which one he'll do. And according to that, it'll either be 3 hits or 4 hits. Here's the needle version or the spear version, and this is the grab. So the way to dodge it is just diagonal right dodge into him to avoid it. Here's the other spear slash needle attack, which he pokes and then you see that red thing come out. Just simply run away from that, and then when it jumps in the air like that, just dodge into him and then get a few shots in afterwards. If you manage to land a crit on the boss, be careful, because after you dish out your crit damage, the boss will do this exploding attack, which if you're close to him, obviously you're gonna take damage, so watch out for that. Alright, so with that homework out of the way, let's get into the actual fights. So like I said before, you can dodge all its attacks on first phase by dodging back. So this attack, dodge back. I probably could have gotten a hit there. On first phase, you just want to get 1 to 2 hits in, depending on like on your timing and your weapon. After the double spin, you get 1 to 2 hit, back away. Don't get too greedy. You're gonna see me get greedy sometimes, and I'm gonna pay for it. That shoulder tackle followed by a spin attack and get him 2 hits in. After that, spinning attack 1-2, going 1-2, back away. The boss jumps back like that, it switches form, quote unquote. This is the faster version of its spinning attacks and shit like that. So yeah, see, the attack pattern changed. So during this form, the safest time to get some damage is after the spinning air slash, like that one, and you can get in 1, 2, and then just back away. Make sure you don't exhaust your stamina either, so you can get away from the rest of his attacks. Another form he'll go into, which I don't think he does it during this fight, but it's the needle slash spear form, which it's basically what I showed in the opening when I was going through all the attacks. It'll do that poke, but instead of like the enhanced version, which like that red aura shoots out, it's just 2 pokes and that's it. If you stay close to him while he's in that form, he can actually do like some combos with like the spear form of the sword. So when that happens, or rapier form I guess. So when that happens, when it switches into that stance, after it does the 2 pokes, I highly recommend you guys just stay away from him. So he'll switch back into the sword forms. Okay, because he doesn't like, as long as you don't stay near him, he switches back into sword form really fast. And that's first phase done. And here's the second phase. Try to conserve as much healing items as possible going into this fight. And I don't think there's a way to summon into this fight, so you're completely on your own here. So yeah, good luck to those of you guys that have been using the summons, and you know, for those of you guys that have been just soloing all the bosses like a champ, this should be a fun little challenge for y'all. And for those of you parry pros, this should be pretty fun as well. I am using the perfect parry grindstone there, just in case I need to calm my nerves a little bit. So yeah, that rush attack, if you manage to parry it, it can stun the boss a little bit. And for those of you guys that are also using this katana right here, if you use the charge attack, which is the parry, it can actually stop the boss's combo altogether. So like those 3 to 4 hit combos or whatever, like these uppercuts or whatever, anything that has a follow, if you parry the opening hit, it just stuns the boss. So that's another way you can deal with this boss. Like if you can get the timing down, you can be stunning this boss like crazy, and you won't have to like deal with all the dodging and stuff like that. And the reason why I went through the entire like fight just doing pure dodges, because I know not everyone's gonna pick up the katana, and some people might even pick up the amulet instead. If you do that on your first playthrough, you're pretty much locked out of the katana, and I didn't want to like, okay, this is the only way you can beat the boss, and you know, pretty much if you didn't have the katana, you're kind of screwed. And I want everyone to have like a fair shot against this guy. So yeah, this strat should work for all weapon types. It's just a stat distribution. So if you want to actually follow this and have a different weapon or whatever, it can still work. You could just reallocate your stats at the goddess statue, and then you know, just pretty much follow this, and you'll have a light build, and you can dodge and just do the hit and run tactic. It works pretty well, I think. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you don't spam your dodges, because that roll dodge doesn't really have much iframe, I notice. So when it's comboing, just kind of time it. And you're gonna see me like panic a little bit at the end here. And also, this Legion arm is really good. If the boss does an attack where it's gotta like take a little bit of time to, I don't know, recover, I guess. That right there, we can probably use the Legion arm once. But yeah, in the second phase, the boss does not have like another second phase or whatever. This is it. All the attacks and stuff like that, it doesn't change. It's just whatever I've shown here. It's throughout the whole second phase HP bar, it only has these attacks. So as long as you get these down, you pretty much will have the fight in the bag.